Alright guys, so a few months ago I got this Win 5 Xhover frame in the quad box. Now actually that's the second time I get this in the quad box. The first time, obviously I fly for Catalyst Machine Works, so I didn't really have any use for the frame. I gave it to one of my buddies that was needing a racing frame to go racing with, and he built it, and I noticed that he built it in a way that he could mount his battery on top or bottom. So I thought, well, the second time I got this a few months ago in the quad box, I thought that'd be an interesting test because obviously you hear a lot of the pilots saying that by having your battery on the top, the CG, the center of gravity, is a lot closer to your prop line. So that in theory should make the car more, I race cars, the quad more stable and handle better and just feel better in the air. So I thought it'd be a great test to, go back to back, top and bottom mount, out on sort of on a race course and see what the difference is and how it feels. So I built this out of completely all spare components except for the motors. These are brand new Hypetrain motors, the drib edition. So I just had spare components laying around. I threw them all together here. Just because they're spares, it doesn't mean they're bad quality. These are pretty good components in here. And I will be giving this full frame and build away to one of the viewers here. I'm gonna be, if you comment down, let me know what you think of the video, and I'm gonna just check, and if you're interested, let me know about the quad, and I'm just gonna check out the profiles and see who's kind of been trying to get into racing or maybe practicing, and if I feel that you could benefit from having this full build and as part of your quad lineup, then I'm gonna give this fully built quad, except for the receiver, away. So with that said, I feel obligated to talk a little bit about the pros and cons about this frame specifically. Obviously this is not what I fly, so I can only compare to what I fly, and this is the goods. I think it's a relatively light frame. It's not the lightest, but it's light, so it's still good for great performance. It handles well in the air, it's stable. However, it's probably maybe a little too large for my liking. It's just to what I like, right? This is only my opinion. You'll be able to tell here, this is what I fly. This is my America frame. And see if you can tell there. The frame is a fair bit larger. So that makes it a little bit heavier. That almost makes it feel like it changes direction a little bit slower, a little bit more sluggish. I don't think that's an issue. You can probably tune that out by changing your rates. My real issue with this quad was the durability. I had a very minor crash. I'll put it up here. And it completely sheared an arm off. Now this is a racing frame, and it's got a modular design, so that's completely fine to break arms. You have replacements, and that's what it's meant to do. However, the real issue I have is that to change out the arm, the bolts that hold the arms in here are actually hold the stack together. To me, that's no good. Because if you want to fix it at home, that's fine. However, it's kind of a pain in the ass to try to, either you have to take the whole stack off, or you have to kind of hold the corner that you broke, and you just got to hold it in place while you take the arm out, put a bolt in, right? So it's not straightforward, it's not easy. And if you're doing this during a race or in between a heat, you would either lose your next heat, or you just be so rushed, it'd be so stressful. I can change an arm on my America frame in about 3 minutes, maybe under that. I haven't tried. I actually had a video on it, which I think was under 4 minutes or something like that. This one took me over 20 minutes, so it's a bit disappointing. However, it's a small drawback, especially if you're just using it to practice. And obviously with that, I have a few spare arms and actually upgraded arms that are thicker, so that should be even more reliable than this, so that would be good, especially to practice and even to race on. The components, obviously the drib motors, Hypetrain, brand new actually, all four are brand new, just the flights that I put it on today. 4-in-1 individual ESCs, I'll send some spares of these as well. These are blheli 30 amp ESCs, rated only to 4S. You wouldn't want to run any more than that. This is 2650 kV motors. It's got everything. You got a axii antenna, you got a Lumineer VTX, runcam Swift, etc. So it's ready to fly. The only thing I'll be keeping is my receiver. So it should be a great flyer right out of the box. All you'd have to do is obviously go in and change your rates. I mean, I tuned it to what I feel is a good tune. You guys are welcome to play with that, of course. It'll be yours. All right, enough talking. So let's go out to the field and give it a try. All right, starting with the top mount battery. I'm gonna see how that feels and then go back to a bottom mount. So here we go. Alright, so it's a pretty clean run. Gonna check it out and then compare now. Gonna change to a bottom mount battery, see how that feels. Alright, we got the bottom mount on there now. So we're gonna try that out, see how it feels. This here. Alright, a couple laps. Jamie, can you power off? What? Can you power off?
I'm out there.
Oh, are you? I see you on my OSD. Alright, on my screen.
Time expired.
Alright, so right away, it just kind of feels like I increased my rates, which obviously I didn't. I'm kind of cruising around now, just trying to get used to that. Almost feels like a whip slingshot effect after every input that I make, but let's see if I can get used to it. I'm not saying it's a bad or a good thing, it's just noticeably different. So much noise in my video now. Not sure why.
once I got used to it now here, I feel like I'm flying much better now. Took a lap or two to kind of come to terms with it, but it feels better now. Oh no. I think I'm out of battery here. Yeah, out of battery. But yeah, I mean, I liked it once I kind of got used to it. Just feel like a little bit of higher rates, really. But pretty good. I mean, this is what I'm used to, so I'm happy with that.
So my impressions was that with the top-mounted battery, when you're going around turns, first I don't fully understand why it feels like I have a slower rates on it. I know when I kind of go around the corner, it just smoothly goes into the corner and then goes out as I throttle out. When I have the battery on the bottom, it almost feels like the weight of the battery has some sort of momentum to it. So every input I give, it almost whips it around. Depending on how you view that, that could be a bad thing or it could be a good thing. At the end, how I felt it almost felt more natural to me, and it felt like I could be a little bit more snappy with how I'm turning, especially like at slaloms. I know I didn't have any slaloms here on the video, but that just it just feels more natural to me, and mainly because that's probably basically because that's what I mainly fly with. So I think that kind of leaves me to conclude that though there has to be some sort of physics behind it that, you know, would give the advantage to one rather than the other. To me, it just comes down to being consistent and what feels more comfortable to you. If you like the way the top mount feels more than bottom mount, then, you know, that's what's going to make you better and fly more consistently and faster. And that's really it. It just comes down to using the same method every time and not really going back and forth, because it changes things, and that's not good for improving our consistency. So really leaves me to say that yeah, it's basically up to what feels more comfortable and what you can stick to the most. For freestyle, most freestyle frames have a top mount battery, so that's what you would want. And for racing, I would say 90% of the frames out there are specifically made to carry the battery on the bottom. So that's what I'm gonna stick to, and probably what's gonna be the easier solution for racers out there. But let me know what you think anyway. And once again, thanks for watching.